Good evening, everyone. I just want to welcome you to our Monday night team Zoom, and I'm very excited tonight because we have an amazing leader that's going to share with us for a few minutes tonight. Her name is Amy Holmwood, and she is a Pro 9 in LifeVantage. She's one of the top leaders in LifeVantage, and one of the things I love about Amy is she's so warm and friendly, and she's always just willing to help everyone in the LifeVantage family. And I love that. She's a wonderful wife and mother. She's an amazing businesswoman, entrepreneur. She's an environmentalist. She's a Lyme disease advocate and so much more. But with that, I'm just going to turn it over to you, Amy, since you're on kind of a tight schedule tonight, and just let you go ahead. And I know you want to share some of your vision and some tips for us. So I have my notebook ready.
Great. Well, thank you, Julie. And I always appreciate it when you reach out to me and ask me to get to, talk with your people, because you are a leader in this company. And we were lucky to meet each other kind of early on, and
Yes.
being from the East Coast, and I have a team in the Philadelphia area. And it was I just feel like, we've been supporting each other, and there's not that many of us on the East Coast still. It seems like it's still, this is what's amazing to me about LifeVantage is it's been over 5 years for me now, and it seems like it's still kind of how it was when we got started in terms of the timing of the company. I just want to give you guys a little bit of history. When I started, it was about just over 100 million in sales, and I remembered hearing from the company at that time that we had 12 peer-reviewed studies when we started, and that was in September of 2012. And they kept saying, oh, but we have all these other studies, they're in the works. And I kept, questioning that, thinking, how could you have more than this? Because this is so unusual even to have 12 studies. And now we have 26. And I know we have many more in the works. And so for you guys that are just getting started and you're hearing, it's kind of hard to believe that there is so much more that's going to be happening with this company in terms of the research and things like that. Just know that, we started with one study. Now we have 26, 23 are at PubMed, and more and more things are being revealed really in this whole sector on a daily basis outside of LifeVantage about how we can change gene expression. And this is something that I've been following the whole time I've been involved with LifeVantage. And this is something that I've been interested in myself because I've had Lyme disease. I have had to take more pretty drastic measures to get better, because there's really nothing you can do to cure that. And it's not like, it's almost as bad as having cancer, you guys, because it's an incurable disease. And if you don't get it early enough, it's not like you're going to get better. You're just going to either stay the same or get worse. And what that does is it attacks all your joints, and it attacks all your organs, and it ages you faster. So I was looking for anything that would help slow that down, that was natural, because I also have genetic mutations that make it difficult for me to what they call methylate, which is to get rid of heavy metals and toxins from my body. I just have that, and I knew that. So, when I saw this company, as a business person, I was certainly intrigued about the product, but I also, because I hadn't heard anything about it, that made me very curious about the opportunity. And, I still feel as curious about the opportunity, and I spend time researching our opportunity a lot. I don't sit back and just know what I know just by learning what we learn at LifeVantage, which we learn so much from our colleagues in LifeVantage, and the company does a good job. And there's so much available information out there to learn about NRF2 activation, NRF1 activation, the probiotic importance of probiotics, and now our omegas and things like that. But there's a lot of other stuff going on in the genomics arena that I'm actually going to a symposium on Thursday in Washington, D.C. with a bunch of genetic doctors that are talking about life extension. So I really have been sort of on this course for a long time in my own curiosity for my own health. And what I'm telling you guys, if you're not doing the kind of research that I've been doing, because most people don't unless they get really sick, is that this area of science is absolutely exploding. So we really do have something very, very special. because people still don't know about what we have and what it means to be a company that can actually do what our products do. This is not like a small thing. And so the challenge, oh my gosh, you should turn off the video, Julie. I'm seeing, it's just funny. I'm not seeing myself. I'm seeing people. It's so funny when you see so many different people on the screen. I'm seeing, people driving and all this other. I always wonder when I do these if I should not have the video on or not. But anyway, everybody sees. I don't know if you guys can see me when I'm speaking. Hopefully you can. So anyway, I get so excited about this because I am heavily invested in this in my time. And I also am heavily invested on the research side, just doing what I do normally, which is I investigate things and about other products, other supplements. I'm also an investor in some other companies that I've been fortunate to learn about that are really cutting edge, not supplement companies, but other companies that are doing more of this genetic testing stuff. And I am 100% certain that this company, LifeVantage and Protandem, is going to be a household name. We just have to do our jobs to educate people on this because people still don't understand it and we're still going to get resistance. So we really have to be really solid in our belief and don't let other people's opinions of this get you disenchanted with this opportunity. It's not easy doing this. And it doesn't get any easier, just so you guys know. The only part that gets easier as you become more successful is you have a team of people that are still running around, on your behalf, building your business, giving you volume. But in terms of your own work of going out there, I'm still out recruiting. I'm still out talking about LifeVantage and what we have, because this is still the beginning of the company. We're still in a unique position to be able to bring a lot more leaders into the company. And that's what we're looking for. For us to be leaders in LifeVantage, we have to find leaders. Now, we also can find just everyday users, which is what we're doing. We're going to find everyday distributors that maybe they just want to make an extra $500 a month and they're happy with that. Maybe they can buy a new car. They can go to the beach in the summer or go to Las Vegas with their girlfriends, on a vacation a couple times a year. Whatever your goals are, we can help you get those achieved. And don't think because a lot of us that are the leaders in the company doing a lot of these calls is that you have to be a person that if you don't have the same dedication or whatever, that there's not a place for you, because there's a place for everybody in this. It's just, you have to make a decision where you want to fall into this group. And then once you make a decision where your income is that you want to get to, you need to talk to your enroller and let them know, this is where I want to be. What do I need to do to get there? Help me figure out the fastest path to get to this income stream. And if you want to be a leader in this company, then you're going to have to find leaders. And that's just the bottom line. And it never ends. So yes, it gets easier because the income's there and your belief goes up higher that this actually works and that actually you can do it. The more successful you become, the more you believe in yourself in this. I didn't have any experience in this industry. I had been experienced in other business, running my own business, but that was very different than this because I really, I didn't have so much resistance to what I was doing. It's really interesting. I was in the life insurance business, which, I could probably clear a room at a cocktail party if I said, hey, I'm the life insurance salesperson here. People would just run in the opposite direction. But to be honest with you, I think the only thing lower is car salesmen and then lawyers at the bottom. But, I had a lot of pride in what I did. I still have that business with my husband. I'm just not out, every day recruiting and selling, recruiting clients. But this is harder because the numbers, because it's $40 for Protandem. It's $151 for a Vitality Stack. It's not like you're selling, some big, fancy insurance policy. It's just like, what, and then people look at you, they're like, what are you doing? What are you doing with supplements, And so the vision that I have for this is so big. That's what we have to impart on people. And sometimes they think you're crazy. They think you're absolutely, oh, you drank the Kool-Aid. Oh boy, they really got you good, And the reality is, yeah, they did. And it's called nutrigenomics. That's what got me good. And every single day, there's another article about nutrigenomics. I just read one today. Someone in my downline sent it to me from the Robb Report. The Robb Report is for like, people worth like $100 million, that read this magazine. Just published a story on biohacking and, all the things people are doing to biohack. And so I'm every day, my belief gets higher and higher. And the vision of what we can create and how we're positioned as a company in the sector is absolutely incredible, because we are far ahead of everybody because we started earlier. So we started with something, a story that nobody knew what we were talking about, which was oxidative stress. And then we were talking about free radicals, which most people don't know anything about. And then now we're talking about changing gene expression and biohacking the aging code, which people have no clue what we're talking about. So we kind of do have to dumb it down a little bit. So I really encourage you guys to not get too fancy, with some of these things. And when you talk about biohacking, you can really make it really simple. We're just optimizing human performance. We're optimizing the human body to its fullest potential. And that's what biohacking is. It's like getting your computer cleaned. When your computer runs really slowly, that's kind of what happens as humans age. It's kind of the same. We have a blueprint. The computer has has its chips and all the hardware. Well, after a while, it kind of gets bogged down with a lot of stuff, just like we do. And so we want to clean that up, clean it off, clean off the hard drive. And we're going to do the same thing with our bodies, biohacking through gene expression, changing gene expression, turning down the bad genes and turning up the good ones. And that's really the bottom line on biohacking. And nutrigenomics is simply, we're going to use foods and plants to change the expression of the genes that are going to do the biohacking. So we're just going to go in and we're going to flip some switches on the DNA. That's what we're doing. You can look it up. The DNA switches can be flipped through proteins. We have 2 proteins that we activate, NRF2, which is for reducing oxidative stress in the cell and activating your own body's antioxidants, and then the NRF1 protein, which is turning on the DNA of the mitochondria, which is your powerhouse. It's a little power plant of the cell to keep the cell running and make the cell actually reproduce and make more mitochondria. And you'll have more energy. That's what people want. They want to optimize their human performance. And some people want to extend life. And the nutrigenomics and biohacking is how you do that. People are interested in health span and lifespan. There are people interested in that. And I am. So I actually really do talk about this with people. But when they ask me what I do for a living, I don't go into all of that. I just say, I have a wellness business. And we're disrupting the wellness sector with something called nutrigenomics. And then they're like, and then you just stop talking. And they say, well, and then they're going to say, well, what's that? You say, you haven't heard of nutrigenomics? And they go, no. You say, oh, wow. Well, last year, I don't know if you noticed, but every major magazine had an article about how people are living longer and how genetic engineering is changing how people age, and also creating a lot of drugs and different things. Did you notice that? Like, yeah, I did. Well, we have a company that's pioneering something called nutrigenomics. We're using plants to change the expression of our genes. And that is going to improve our human performance. And this is a whole new area of science. I happen to be in a company that is leading the way in that sector. And then I just stop talking. I don't say, oh, you ought to try it and da 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 da. I don't do any of that. You want to create curiosity and have them ask questions, and then you want to ask them questions about where they are in their life. Is there anything? There's 2 questions that I always ask. Is there anything about your health that you'd like to improve? When you're sitting down with someone, gosh, most people talk about some health issues of someone in their family. Is there anything about your health that you'd like to improve? And most people will say yes. So you already have now, and that's not where you have an opportunity to just go, oh, you need to take Protandim. You don't do that. You say, well, talk to me about that. What's going on for you? How long have you felt like that? Just get into those questions, and how is that affecting your, your life? And then it kind of can lead into, well, I'm tired at work, and oh my gosh, and it starts a whole conversation. The other one is, if the right business opportunity came along, would now be a good time to take a look at it? And, those 2 questions, can open up conversations. If the right business opportunity came along, would now be a good time for you to take a look at that. And then from there, you're going to start a conversation or say, well, I'd like to set up a time for us to talk about that. And I'll share with you what I'm doing and what I'm excited about. And then I'd like to know a little bit more about what you're doing and what you're thinking. What would it help improve, in that area? And just, have a conversation with people. So this is what I still do every day, you guys. It doesn't change. Yes, as a leader in the company, I have a big team. So I had a lunch meeting with someone today, with a new member. We're actually, just so you guys know, we'll be opening up in Taiwan, probably in mid-summer at the latest. So if you have people, and that will be in the traditional network marketing business model. And then, of course, China, I have been traveling there. I've been over there a couple times since we're now open there, and it's going very well. I'm not going to get into all the details of that right now, but so far we're doing well with it, and it's working. So it is a little bit of a different business model, but if you guys have any interest in that, you can get in touch with Julie, and maybe we can have a call on that separately. So the vision of this global company is coming together. We're actually opening in several other countries to be able to start just enrolling customers in Europe and some other countries. This is going to give us an opportunity to start reaching out to people in other countries in Europe, and also in the Dominican Republic, New Zealand, Ireland, France, Italy. Really incredible, especially the timing of this right now, because a lot of people, when summer comes around in Europe, there's just a lot of time to talk to people about these things, and people aren't working as much and things. So I'm pretty excited about all that. But what I want you guys to understand is that we really are in a really unique position in the company right now, because we've had our two biggest months in history in February and in March. The company's starting to grow again. So we did hit sort of a flat line. When I started, we were at a little over 100 million, and then we got up to 200 million. And then we've stayed there for almost 3 years. And now we're starting to see that tick up again. And this is very exciting, because this is exactly what is supposed to happen. When you look at companies that have been in similar situations, that have gotten to $1 billion, they've escalated pretty quickly. Then they kind of level out and try to, what they call whitewater, where you regroup, you hire more people, you get your systems in place, you get your countries ready to be open, and then you start to tick back up again. So this is where we are. It's that slope, and then there's a flat, and then it goes up again. And then, so we're at that place right now in phase 2. And we're talking about going all the way to $1 billion. So we have 800 million more to get there. And so this is still the beginning of the company. So if anybody thinks they missed it, you didn't. And there's an opportunity now to bring in, because now we've proven that we really have been able to succeed with these products. And now we're at this place where we can recruit professionals. So if you guys know anybody in the industry, now is the time to get in touch with them and say, listen, you're not as much of a leader in the company as you want to be yet, but you can plug those people into what we're doing. And there's a red carpet program that you can introduce those people to as well. So I really encourage you guys to try to find people, even through the people that make some phone calls and say, hey, I don't know if this is for you, but do you know anyone in the industry who's been really successful? Because I happen to be affiliated with a company that's in phase 2 of growth, and we're attracting leaders like crazy into our company right now. And you can insert yourself into a position and then have that person underneath, that person. So it's, I just had that happen myself, which is how I have somebody that I'm working with in Taiwan and Hong Kong. She's actually a Hong Kong distributor. And I'm heading there Friday for another week. So I'm just telling you guys, this is the time to really get serious about your LifeVantage business, and never stop spending, an hour, even if it's just an hour a day, getting in touch, talking with people, reaching out to people, continuing to build your list, add a new name every day to your list, and continuing to reach out to people, because you don't want to miss this. You don't want to miss this wave that's coming. And I know we've been talking about that for a while, but it really is coming now. And it's just evidenced by these last 2 months of growth in the company. So Julie, I don't know if you have any questions for me, but I wanted to keep it to about 20 minutes. It's
Okay.
8:21.
Well, Amy, that was great information. I just love you're so inspirational, and you always just know the latest and what's going on. I have one question. Do you know when the company might be coming out with an announcement about Taiwan opening?
They won't probably until, I know that there's the key people in the company are going over there, you know, pretty much next week to kind of get things lined up. So there's no announcement yet, but it's okay for me to say that, you know, we don't know the date, but it's coming.
Awesome. All right. Well, that'll be very exciting, and I'm excited about, you know, the new countries that are being open for customers, and I love all the things that just the practical tips that you gave us tonight. So thank you so much. I don't want to hold you up with any more questions because you know, you're a wealth of information and you've given us a lot here. So thank you so much. Is it okay if we post this recording on our team Facebook?
Yeah, please send me a recording too. I'd appreciate it.
Okay, great. All right.
Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a nice night.
Thank you, Amy. Thanks so much for
Thanks,
joining us.
Amy.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thanks, Amy.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Amy.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Amy. Good to see you.
You too.
Hey, Kurt.
Well,
Hey, Gary.
okay, it's good to have everybody on here tonight. I'm just going to stop the recording right now.